Hey everyone, welcome back to my vlog again. So in this day I want to talking about something that many people experience but don't always talk about openly. Feeling lost in life. Honestly, I think almost everyone has felt lost at least once. Some people feel lost at 19 or before at 17, at 16, yeah, some at 20 or maybe 30, and some even up later in life. The, the strange thing is that when we're younger, we often imagine that adults have everything figured out. We think there comes a magical age where suddenly everything makes sense. You know exactly what you want, you know exactly where you're going, you know exactly who you are. But honestly, life doesn't always work that way. One thing I realize is that feeling lost doesn't necessarily mean you're falling, you fail. That's not. Sometimes it simply means you're just changing. Think about it. When you're growing, your interests change, your goals change, your values change. The versions of you from 5 years ago might want to completely different things than the versions of you today. And honestly, that's normal. But wait, I need to turn on my fan because shit, I feel so hot, bro. Copy. I get it. I got you. Alright, I love this feeling. So, yeah. And you know, the another thing I just thinking and feeling loss is that it often happens during transitions, graduating from school and graduating from school and yep, and starting my university and then graduating in university and then changing careers, moving to a new city, ending a relationship, making major life decisions. Transitions are uncomfortable because you're leaving something familiar but haven't fully entered the next chapter yet. And honestly, that is between stage we can feel very confusing. I also think social media makes feeling lost much worse. Every day, people see others achieving things. Someone got accepted into their dream university, someone started a business, someone bought a car, someone is traveling, someone seems to have the perfect life. And honestly, after seeing that every single day, it's easy to wonder. It's easy to wonder, like, why am I not there yet? But here's something important. You're comparing your behind the scene life to someone else's highlight reel. And honestly, that's never a fair comparison. Another thing I realize is that many people confuse uncertainty with failure. Not knowing exactly what comes next doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It simply means you're a human. Life isn't a straight road. It's often messy, unexpected, unpredictable, and honestly, that's true for almost everyone. I also noticed that people feel especially lost when their plans don't work out. Maybe they didn't get accepted somewhere. Maybe they failed an exam. And maybe they lost an opportunity. Maybe something they worked hard for didn't happen. And honestly, disappointment can make people question everything. Suddenly, they wonder if they're on the wrong path, if they good enough, if they ever success. But one setback rarely defines an entire life. Another thing about the feeling lost is that it forces people to ask a deeper question. Many people spend years searching for those answers. I also think there's difference between being lost and being stuck. Being lost means you're searching, you're questioning, you're exploring, you're trying to understand yourself better. And honestly, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Growth often begins with uncertainty. Another thing I learned is that many successful people once feel lost too. Before success, there was doubt, there confusions, before confidence, and before the clarity, there were questions. And honestly, we often only see the final result. We rarely see the years of uncertainty that come before it. I also realize that feeling lost can be emotionally exhausting because uncertainty creates mental noise. You overthink, you compare yourself, you worry about the future, and honestly, carrying those thoughts every day can become tiring. Another thing about being lost is that people often think they need to find one perfect purpose immediately, one perfect path, one perfect dream. But honestly, life doesn't always reveal itself that way. Sometimes people discover their path gradually, one experience at a time, one lessons at a time, one mistake at a time. And honestly, that's okay. I also noticed that many people are afraid to admit they feel lost because they think everyone else has that figured out. But honestly, many people are quietly confused too. They're just better at hiding it. The truth is, uncertainty is much more common than most people realize. That's real. Uncertainty for the people that's real not even holds. So, we just need to take a deal with everything. It's okay, we just need to admit it. So what's happened? You want to hiding it for every single time? Let's just really feel it. Let's just admit it and take it. If sometimes we just getting lost in our way. and that's normal. Even in the roads, when we just use like the Google Maps to take us to the right destinations, but sometimes we're getting lost. That's life. That's not perfect in this world. Nothing perfect. And I just realized that growth can't feel like getting lost before it feels like moving forward. Because old beliefs stop making sense. Old goals change. And old versions of yourself no longer fit. And honestly, that transition can feel uncomfortable. That's so uncomfortable, bro. But it often means you're evolving. I also think patience becomes very important during these periods because clarity doesn't always arrive immediately. Sometimes answers take months, sometimes years. Balengok. Balengok ang ganun. And honestly, rushing the process often creates more stress. And another thing I learned is that not every season of life is meant for achievement. Some seasons are meant for learning, healing, reflecting, and exploring the new thing. And honestly, those seasons matter too, even if they don't look so impressive from the outside. But that's matter. I also realize that many people underestimate small progress. They focus so much on huge goals that they ignore small victories. Learning something new, improving a habit, becoming emotionally stronger, and surviving a difficult week. And honestly, those things count too. Another thing about the feeling lost is that it teaches humility. It reminds people they don't control everything. Life has surprise, unexpected turns, unexpected opportunities. And honestly, some of the best chapters begin in situations nobody planned. And I also think people become stronger by navigating uncertainty. Not because uncertainty feels good, but because it teaches resilience, problem solving, adaptability, and honestly, those qualities become valuable later. Another thing I realize is that people often find clarity through the action, not handless thinking. Sometimes the answer doesn't come while sitting and worrying. It comes from trying, exploring, taking a small step, learning through experience, and honestly, movement often creates clarity. I also noticed that many people wait until they are completely confident before taking the action. But confidence usually grows after the actions, not before it. And honestly, waiting forever for certainty can keep people stuck. And yeah, and I learned uh, that that's okay not to have everything figured out. Life is not an exam where you need every answer immediately. It's process, journey, and ongoing experience. And honestly, nobody truly knows exactly how their entire future will unfold. I also realized that being lost sometimes means you're standing at the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter you can't fully say yet. A chapter that's still being written. And honestly, Uncertainty can be scary, but it can also be exciting because possibility are still exist. So yeah, that's all for today, and I just want to say bye bye.